वेलकम 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 फ्रेंड्स एवरीवन। दोस्तों, एक चीज बताओ मुझे कि क्या आपकी लाइफ में कुछ ऐसी स्टोरीज रही हैं जिन्होंने आपकी लाइफ को पूरी तरह से चेंज कर दिया हो। और जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि स्टोरीज जो हैं हमारी लाइफ में या उन उन स्टोरीज में एक एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी पावर है जो कहीं ना कहीं आपकी लाइफ को शेप कर देती है। अगर ऐसा है तो जस्ट टाइप इन द कमेंट बॉक्स, यस आई कैन रेजोनेट विद दिस। और आज जो सेशन हम कर रहे हैं इसमें ऐसा ही बहुत कुछ है, बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग टू अनफोल्ड narratives that have left an incredible mark in someone's journey. When I am saying someone's journey, that someone is none other than, you all know, Haritosh Srivastav. So get ready for an unforgettable experience, because as we warmly welcome here to a remarkable YouTube live session with the esteemed storytelling coach Haritosh Srivastav. Tonight, we embark on an initiative journey into the heart of storytelling, and we'll be delving into three stories that actually have changed the life of Haritosh Srivastav completely. So grab a cozy spot, a cup of your favorite beverage, and prepare to be transported into the captivating world of storytelling. Let me tell you that this is not just an exploration of narratives, it's an invitation to reflect on the stories that have impacted your own life. और जब भी हम स्टोरीज की बात करते हैं, सारी सब कुछ स्टोरी तो है। आपकी लाइफ भी तो एक स्टोरी है, एंड यू आर द हीरो ऑफ योर स्टोरी, राइट? सो इससे पहले कि मैं हरितोष को बुलाऊं, स्टेज उनको दूं, छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन एज ए रिचुअल। सो हरितोष जो हैं, हरितोष श्रीवास्तव इज अ कॉन्फिडेंट स्टोरी टेलिंग कोच एंड अ फाउंडर ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंट स्टोरी टेलिंग हब. He is a certified world class public speaking coach, certified mentor, as well as a passionate storyteller. Wow. He is an award winning speaker, having won accolades in India, the US, as well as UK. And recently, he was the runner up in Topics, Division Table Topics contest in District 91, UK. He mentors and coaches professionals, entrepreneurs, and coaches in their storytelling and speaking journey. He is also the author of the Amazon bestseller Small Town Bigger Dreams book. मैंने तो ये बुक ले ली है भाई। अगर आप लोगों को आप भी लेना चाहते हैं, आप अपनी लाइफ को एक्चुअली में चेंज करना चाहते हैं, जानना चाहते हैं कि क्या स्टोरी है, सो डेफिनेटली इस बुक को आप जरूर खरीदें। राइट, दिस बुक विल डेफिनेटली चेंज योर लाइफ. It's not all about stories, but it's about the real transformation. So Haritosh is also on a mission to empower 1 million people by the year 2035 by helping them discover their true voice and confidence. So if you are excited, just type in the comment box, welcome Haritosh. And
Thank
Haritosh,
you.
welcome to the show. And friends, yeah, Haritosh will be talking to you for about 35 to 40 minutes, and then we'll have a Q&A session. Also, you can ask your questions, and there is a surprise for you at the end of the session. So stay tuned, be here till the end. अगर आप एंड तक रहेंगे तो आप उस सरप्राइज का लाभ उठा सकते हैं। बहुत ही बढ़िया है, बी हियर. सो वेलकम श्रीवास्तव एंड ओवर टू यू.
Thank you so much, Prashant. क्या मतलब your show is amazing. I keep seeing so many amazing guests. So it's my pleasure, my honor to be here. Second time. I don't know how many guests you got it second time. So, but thank you so much. And when you said कि कुछ अलग करना है 2023 से डिफरेंट करना है, कुछ कुछ ऐसी बातें करनी है जो हमने कभी की नहीं है, तो बहुत सारे लोग आज कुछ ऐसी कहानियां सुनने वाले हैं जो शायद ही आपने सुनी हो। बट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है जो आपको जाननी होगी बिफोर आई गेट इनटू स्टोरीज की ये स्टोरी मेरी स्टोरी है, बट ये आपके लिए है। दिस इज माई स्टोरी बट फॉर यू, विच मीन्स कि जब मैं ये स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ, तो नोट डाउन करिए कि क्या चीजें हैं जो आपसे रेजोनेट करती हैं, क्या लेसन आपको मिल रहे हैं, एंड फिर कमेंट पे भी लिखिए, बिकॉज व्हाट यू शेयर इट ग्रोस, राइट। हम कमेंट पे इसलिए लिखने के लिए नहीं बोलते हैं कि सिर्फ कमेंट हो जाएगा, बट व्हेन यू शेयर इट एक्चुअली एड्स अप, राइट। अगर आपको अमीर बनना है तो, एंड आई एम हियर इन फ्रंट ऑफ मिरेकल माइंडसेट कोर्स, so who better than this, who talks about affirmation, who talks about visualization, vision board, etc. So if you want to become rich you need to visualize. Similarly आपको अच्छा स्टोरी टेलर बनना है तो थोड़ा एक्शन तो लेना पड़ेगा. So let me start my first story, and this story is of my childhood, and I call this story as the power of belief. ये कहानी है ऑलमोस्ट 25 से 30 years बैक की. मैं क्लास 6 7th में था, एंड आई स्टडीड फ्रॉम अ हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल. आई वॉज वेरी अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट, एंड यू नो, जो भी स्मॉल टाउन से है मेरी तरह, प्लीज रेजोनेट. थैंक यू हीलर. कि जब आप इंग्लिश मीडियम से नहीं हो और कभी आप ऐसी जगह पे जाते हो जहाँ पे बाकी लोग इंग्लिश मीडियम वाले में हैं, तो आपको कैसा फील होता है. तो आई रिमेम्बर वो एक आफ्टरनून में मैं अपने रिलेटिव के यहाँ गया हुआ था, एंड वी वेर प्लेइंग क्रिकेट, गली क्रिकेट, एंड देर वॉज दिस आंट. वो आंटी थी, उनके बच्चे वहाँ के टॉप कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में पढ़ते थे, एंड इट वॉज माई टाइम टू एक्चुअली बैट. मैं आधे घंटे तक बॉलिंग फील्डिंग कर रहा था, मेरा टाइम था बैटिंग करने का. और जैसे ही मेरा टाइम बैटिंग करने का आया, पीछे से आवाज आती है, तुम यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो, तुम अगर ऐसे लोगों के साथ रहोगे तुम भी बेकार हो जाओगे, इसका तो कुछ होने वाला नहीं है लाइफ में, तुम अपना टाइम, अपना समय, अपना जीवन क्यों बर्बाद कर रहे हो. कितने लोगों ने ऐसा फील किया है. लोग आपको नीचा दिखलाते हैं. आज भी मुझे याद है, जस्ट बिकॉज कि मैं हिंदी मीडियम से हूँ, जस्ट बिकॉज मैं छोटे शहर से हूँ, doesn't make me small, right? But I was made to feel that. And उसके बाद जो मेरे अंदर थोड़ा बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस था वो भी चला गया. जो मैं काफ़ी स्टूडियस बच्चा था, जो क्लास में हमेशा आगे बैठता था, मैं पीछे बैठने लगा. कितनी बार होता था मुझे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर पता है, जब सर पूछ रहे हैं तब भी मेरी हिम्मत नहीं होती थी कि मैं हाथ ऊपर उठाऊं. किसी एक इंसान का एक सेंटेंस आपकी लाइफ में कितना चेंज कर सकता है. ये ऐसा कुछ साल चलता रहा, फिर आया ईयर 2000, सन 2000, एंड मैंने कोचिंग स्टार्ट किया, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली बोर्ड का एग्ज़ाम था, 10th करना था, मुझे इंग्लिश सीखना था. और मेरे फेवरेट, द मोस्ट फेवरेट सर, सर राकेश उपाध्याय की क्लास में मैंने ज्वाइन किया. एंड यू नो, आपके साथ भी शायद ये हुआ होगा कि जो अच्छे टीचर होते हैं, दे आर बियॉन्ड सब्जेक्ट, राइट. They are there to teach you certain life lessons, and that is what happened on that day. I remember राकेश सर ने एक बहुत ही सिंपल सा सवाल पूछा था, और मुझे उसका आंसर आता था, बट मेरे पास कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, तो मैं चुपचाप सर नीचे करके बैठा रहा. लेकिन समहाउ राकेश सर को पता था. वो मेरे पास आए, मेरी तरफ देखे, बोले, हरितोष, तुम हाथ क्यों नहीं उठा रहे हो, तुम्हें इसका आंसर पता है, और मुझे पता है कि तुम्हें इसका आंसर पता है. तुम अपने पे बिलीव करना कब स्टार्ट करोगे? व्हेन विल यू स्टार्ट टू हैव सेल्फ बिलीफ? It was a life changing moment for me because for the very first time, somebody had showed a lot of belief. तो उस दिन तो मैंने हाथ भी उठाया, आंसर भी दिया, बट इट चेंज माई लाइफ बिकॉज देन आई रिमेंबर दैट आई एम गुड इनफ, आई एम ग्रेट, एंड आई कैन आंसर वॉट एवर आई वॉन्ट टू आंसर. इट रिमाइंडेड मी ऑफ द स्टोरी ऑफ, आप सबने सुनी होगी, जामवंत और हनुमान जी की कहानी. हनुमान जी के पास बहुत सारी शक्तियां थी, लेकिन उनको एक श्राप मिला हुआ था कि तुम भूल जाओगे अपनी शक्तियों के बारे में जब तक उनको जामवंत जी नहीं मिले और उन्होंने उसकी याद नहीं दिलाई. आई एम नॉट ग्रेट, आई एम नॉट लॉर्ड हनुमान, बट एटलीस्ट उस दिन राकेश सर बिकेम द जामवंत ऑफ माई लाइफ by telling that why don't you believe in yourself, why don't you have self belief, and I have taken that to the heart. Now no matter what is happening outside, I have self belief, I know I can do that. And here it is the most important part for those of you who are watching it live or you will watch it replay. If you have not heard from someone yet, let me tell you, I believe in you, I trust you, and I know you can do that. Thank you. So that was first story. I would love to have a comment कि कैसी लगी आपको स्टोरी, क्या आपके अंदर भी थोड़ा बिलीफ डेवलप हुआ, एंड कुछ भी कमेंट है प्लीज कमेंट करके बताइए. थैंक यू हीलर भैया, गुड टू हैव यू हियर. नाउ पहली स्टोरी के बाद, थैंक यू, आई विल, आया हूं तो कहानियां तो बताऊंगा ही. दूसरी कहानी बताते हैं, लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट वन. ये कहानी बहुत ज़्यादा पुरानी नहीं है, ये कहानी है करीब 3 साल पहले की, 2020. 2019 में मैं अमेरिका में था, फिर कुछ वीज़ा का इशू हुआ, आई हैड टू कम बैक टू इंडिया, एंड देन फिर मुझे यूके जाना हुआ. एंड आई रिमेंबर 23rd of February 2020 मैं वापस यूके लंदन आया with the hope कि मेरी वाइफ एंड डॉटर will join me in next 2 months. But we all know what happened afterwards, March 2020, and COVID happened everywhere. It was such a disastrous thing. And then I started thinking कि if it is really the end of the world, what is it that I live with? अगर सही में दुनिया ऐसी खत्म होने वाली है या ये यहीं तक है, तो मैं क्या छोड़ के जाना चाहता हूँ? What is my legacy? I started thinking about my journey. मैं एक छोटे से शहर में हुआ, and then I moved at least 10 times, different cities, different states, even different country at that time. इंडिया, फिर मैं अमेरिका में था, फिर मैं यूके में था. Is my journey worth sharing? क्या मेरी जर्नी किसी को भी हेल्प करेगी? So ये स्टोरी is all about that journey. And I call this story as the power of reaching out. So back to the story, I started thinking कि I have traveled so much, I have shifted, I've learned. Does anyone really want to learn from me? क्या मेरी कहानी किसी के काम आ सकती है? And somewhere from back of the mind एक छोटा सा आइडिया आया कि क्या बुक लिख सकते हैं क्या. अब मैं इंजीनियर हूँ. थैंक यू सो मच रितिका. एंड इंजीनियर्स आर नॉट सपोज टू बी ऑथर. वी आर एनालिटिकल. हम स्टोरी वाले भी नहीं होते हैं. तो जैसे ही ये थॉट आया कि मैं बुक लिख सकता हूँ क्या, तुरंत ही एक लिमिटिंग बिलीफ आई. यू आर एन इंजीनियर. यू आर नॉट अ ग्रेट स्टोरी टेलर at that time. You're not no literature or got excellence in literacy. Who are you? Who do you think you are? कौन हो तुम? क्यों लिखना चाहते हो? कौन पढ़ेगा तुम्हारी बुक? क्यों पढ़ेगा कोई तुम्हारी बुक? आई एम श्योर कुछ लोग जो ये देख रहे हैं या देखेंगे, उनके दिमाग में भी अक्सर ये बातें आती हैं कि मैं ये क्यों करूं? क्या कोई ध्यान देगा? अगर मैं बुक लिखने जा रहा हूँ, क्या कोई मेरी बुक खरीदेगा या पढ़ेगा? मेरे दिमाग में भी आया था. वेरी ऑनेस्टली आई एम नॉट हियर टू शो कि हाँ मैं बचपन से ही ऑथर बनने वाला था. देन आई डिड समथिंग विच यू कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई. एंड आई रीच्ड आउट टू कपल ऑफ माई फ्रेंड्स, फीमेल फ्रेंड्स. आई एम गोइंग टू टेक देयर नेम. एक का नाम है प्रियंका सक्सेना और एक और बेंटी कम फ्रेंड ताइबा. एंड आई रीच आउट टू देम कि एक ये थॉट आया है मेरे दिमाग में कि अपनी जर्नी को एक बुक के फॉर्म में लिखूं. बट आई एम नॉट श्योर कि ये सही आइडिया है कि नहीं है. तो मैं एक इंट्रोडक्शन का चैप्टर लिखना चाहता हूँ. एंड आई एम आस्किंग यू एंड आई एम गिविंग यू टू द परमिशन कि अगर वो बकवास है तो बकवास है बोल दो. आई विल नॉट माइंड. अगर वो वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम है तो वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम बोल दो. अगर वो अच्छा नहीं है तो अच्छा नहीं है बोल दो. बट प्लीज़ हेल्प मी बिकॉज आई एम इन द डिलेमा. एक साइड बोलता है कि बुक लिखना चाहिए और एक साइड बोलता है कि तुम होते कौन हो लिखने वाले. यू नो वी ऑल हैव दोस टू डिलेमास एट टाइम्स. टू साइड्स ऑफ ब्रेन प्लेइंग विथ अस. एंड आई रोट द फर्स्ट इंट्रोडक्शन and I sent it to both of them, and both of them replied that I want to read the full book. I want to know the full story. I want to know the lessons. And then I enrolled into programs and wrote the book. That is not important. What is more important is the power of reaching out. अगर आपके दिमाग में कोई बड़ा ख्याल है, अगर आपके दिमाग में कुछ ऐसा बड़ा करना है, get someone with the right intention. You don't need to share it with everyone. ये नहीं है इसका कहानी का मतलब. बट कोई ऐसा इंसान, इट कुड बी योर कोच, इट कुड बी योर स्पाउस और इट कुड बी योर डियर फ्रेंड, जिसका इंटेंशन सही है. रीच आउट टू दैम because the power of reaching out is such that you can accomplish many things. I can't even imagine कि अगर उन दोनों ने जवाब ही नहीं दिया होता या बोला होता ये बेकार है, I don't think I would have become an author ever. I would have never shared my journey, my lessons. And a lot of time people send me a DM saying that no, this is. I had one guy who said कि सर मैंने कॉलेज के बाद से बुक पढ़ना छोड़ दिया था, बट आपकी बुक मैंने एंड टू एंड पढ़ी क्योंकि मुझे लगा कि मेरी आपकी जर्नी मेरी जर्नी से मिलती है. कोलकाता की एक लड़की थी, सी सेड दैट कि यू सीम लाइक अ बड़े भैया टू मी, जिससे मैं बुक के थ्रू बहुत सारी चीजें सीख सकती हूँ. व्हाट इफ I would have quit that. So if you have a big idea, big thought, big goals, reach out to the right people, to the right mentor, to the right coach, because they will help you implement that. They will help you give life to that idea. आई होप आपको ये दूसरी कहानी अच्छी लगी हो. मुझे बहुत मज़ा आता है जब भी मैं ये कहानी बताता हूँ, बिकॉज इट शोज द पावर ऑफ रीचिंग आउट, द पावर ऑफ टेकिंग हेल्प, एंड somehow we have been told and programmed or conditioned कि हेल्प मांगना एक बुरी चीज है. अरे वो तो हेल्प मांग रहा है. बट if you study people at the highest level, they always ask for help, because you cannot be expert of everything, you cannot be there everywhere, and you need help. So reach out, utilize the power of reaching out. So that was the second story, which was about why I wrote the book and how I wrote the book. And as Prasanji is mentioning in the comment, please comment your views. I would love to have your feedback, and anything that is coming to your mind. Thank you so much, Healer Bhaiya. Taking help is it's not good, it's great. It shows that you care, it shows that you want to, your dreams matter and you want to make them realize. Awesome. Let's go to the third story, and I call this story as Joy Money Can't Buy. Joy Money Can't Buy. So this is a recent story. Many of you know that I am the founder and master coach at Confident Storytelling Hub. We help a lot of entrepreneurs, coaches, professionals become better and get their true voice and confidence. And this is the story of this guy. His name is Sanjay. Sanjay is based out of Pune. He's a senior HR in a firm. And before joining the academy, he was reached out by one of his another HR friend that we are holding this HR summit, Pan India HR summit, and there will be lot of HR coming from all over the country. Would you like to speak? Sanjay at that time was not confident enough, and he declined. He said, no, I can't speak. I can sit in the audience, but I don't think I can address the audience. I can speak in front of the audience. And then there was this Independence Day offer going on, and he joined the Confident Storytelling Hub. And then, even then, in the very first mastermind session that happened, he couldn't unmute himself, he couldn't come on camera, and he was very shy. He uttered a few words here and there, but he wasn't participating at all. And after a few weeks, but he was very consistent, always attending the session, doing the work or assignments. After a few weeks, he reached out and said, Haritosh, I want to share a great news with you and the community. And I was like, okay, I'm all ears. I want to hear kya hua. And he said, Haritosh, मेरी कंपनी में अभी 20 साल कंप्लीट किए हैं, और हमारे यहाँ एक बड़ा सा सेलिब्रेशन था. अगर मैं कॉन्फिडेंस स्टोरी टेलिंग हब का मेंबर नहीं होता तो शायद मैं न स्टेज पे जाता न और कुछ करता. बट यू नो वॉट, I not only spoke from the stage, I became the host and MC, anchor जिसको कहते हैं. I not only spoke and people clapped, I actually got some people to speak for themselves. And that is what I called the joy money can't buy. I know many of you are coaches over here or aspiring coaches, and all of us get into that. I need to have this weekly target, monthly target, itne sales karne hai, itni marketing karni hai, and all of these are important. But don't forget that the joy money can't buy is the joy when your coachee, when your mentee is successful, is getting the accolades, is getting what he or she deserves. And as a coach, you should be working towards that, because money, as they say, is a byproduct. So money आ जाएगी, अभी नहीं है तो बाद में आ जाएगी, लेकिन if your student is not getting success, there is a problem. So this story is mainly for all the coaches, consultant, healers out there, that do not lose focus. Do not get away from, there are so many shiny objects around, ये करना है वो करना है. Don't forget the goal, और जैसे इंग्लिश में कहते हैं नॉर्थ स्टार या ध्रुव तारा, यही है. We need to help people. I have made my mission, as Prashant ji already said, to empower a million people by the year 2035 by helping them find their true voice and confidence with the power of storytelling. And that is my mission. I am making progress towards that. Everything else is secondary. So, what is your mission? What is it that you are working towards? Because once you find your mission and once you start helping people through your mission, you, my friend, will get the joy that money can never buy. So that was my third story, joy money can't buy. Do let me know in the comments that how did you find the stories. Thank you. Great question. What actually inspired me to become a storytelling coach? It's a great question, and it has got multiple layers. Let me see how can I unpack myself. जैसे प्याज के कई कई लेयर होते हैं. Let me see. So first thing is, there's a bigger reason I became a storytelling coach, because somewhere when I was growing up, I had this inferiority complex जो मेरी पहली स्टोरी में बताया. I was so nervous that I remember in my school time when there used to be very simple thing. I don't know अभी स्कूल में कराते कि नहीं कराते हैं कि you take few headlines from newspaper and assembly में सबके सामने पढ़ दो. देख के पढ़ना है, कुछ करना भी नहीं. You can have it like this and just read. Even that was such a daunting task for me. इतना nervousness, हाथ पैर कांपना, अजीब सा लगना, गला सूख जाना, लड़खड़ाना. I came from that background. And then I showed you the kind of experiences I had with respect to कि तुम हिंदी मीडियम से हो, तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता and all. And then I saw the other side as well. When I started working on my own, when I started getting all the help, coaching, by the way, I have invested, I don't know, probably 30 lakhs or something on myself. I'm not talking about the corporate trainings. Almost 25, 30 lakhs on myself through various programs, coaching, courses, etc., etc., events. when I invested in myself, I started getting the result. And then I also became mentor to a few people, and I started getting results for them. That's when I realized that I naturally have a flair for coaching and helping people. Then the next layer comes, which is why public speaking, because storytelling ultimately comes under public speaking and communication. Is within coaching, I loved going to stage. When I discovered myself, that's when I loved telling my stories, reaching out, attending events like this. Even for this life, I don't think Prashantji had to say twice. He said to me once, I saw my calendar available and let's go for it. So I understood that public speaking is something that I really truly love. And if I have to teach something, why not start with public speaking? And this is a story I tell to all my coaches in the community who join, that no, you have to find your why, and you will all have a movement that वो बत्ती जल जाती है जिसको कहते हैं ना हिंदी में. करीब almost 3 years back, I was sitting in the same chair in the same place. It was a Saturday, and I was there from morning around 6 a.m. till evening 6 p.m. Multiple sessions and webinars and इस तरह के कुछ shows and all of that. So I was physically tired, but mentally I was supercharged. And on that day, I discovered that this is something that I really want to do. And that's where I understood that I want to become a public speaking coach. Now comes the third layer. When I get into the public speaking coach, I understood there are so many public speaking coaches. And as they say, the riches are in the niches, which means that I don't want to be just another public speaking coach. I want to have my own I hope to have my own hold, my own standing. So I started exploring what is that one thing within public speaking that can help people most. And I discovered, with the help of my mentors and coaches, that storytelling is the thing. So I went deep into that. I attended many programs and courses and workshops, kept on working on my own self. And then I started Confident Storytelling Hub. It was called Small Town Bigger Dreams Academy, by the way, at the start. So I started enrolling people, helping them, and also transforming myself. So that's a long answer because we had certain time. So I thought I'll probably go a little bit deep on first identifying that is it something that I really want to do. Number two, what is that? And that was the I want to be in coaching or mentoring space. Second one was within that, what is it that what I want to do? So there are, if you know, there are career, there's money, wealth management, there is a relationship. For me, the biggest joy was when I was talking about public speaking. So that became the second one. And then third one was when I wanted to build my credibility, when I wanted to earn the right to call myself confident storytelling coach. And that's where I went deep into storytelling and studied from best of the best in the world. And that's how I became a confident storytelling coach. I hope that answers your question. Awesome. Any other question? Please feel free to put it in the comment. And Prasantji, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in.
Wonderful. Amazing friends. I'm really enjoying these stories and जब भी स्टोरी सुनते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं हम उस वर्ल्ड में चले जाते हैं. आई
Yes.
स्टिल रिमेम्बर कि जब हम लोग चाइल्डहुड डेज की बात करूं तो जब आप लोग भी कहीं ना कहीं उस फेज में रहे हैं जब हम कॉमिक्स पढ़ते थे
Oh, yes.
तो सब लोग अपना अपना एक सुपर हीरो चुन लेते थे और अपना अपना नाम रख लेते थे, राइट?
Super Commando Dhruv, Nagraj, Chacha Chaudhary.
या
Yeah.
पिंकी
I remember
और
हमारे यहाँ पे वी वी डिडंट हैड लॉट ऑफ मनी टू बाय दोस कॉमिक्स, तो हम रेंट पे ले आते थे, वो 10 पैसे में या 5 पैसे में रेंट
राइट।
पे आता था। तो उसको 2 दिन के अंदर खत्म करके वापस भी देना, नहीं तो फिर डबल पैसे देने पड़ेंगे। तो दिन रात
राइट।
उस पे लगा के फुल टाइम लगा के पढ़ते थे, बट या दैट दोज वर द डेज या।
बहुत गोल्डन टाइम था क्योंकि मोबाइल नहीं होते थे, सबसे बड़ी बात।
मोबाइल नहीं होते थे, यस।
और लर्निंग बहुत अच्छी होती थी उनसे। सो कहने का मतलब ये है कि कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग अपने आप को स्टोरी से कनेक्ट करते हैं। और इवन कि अगर आप देखो तो जो थिएटर पे जो लोग जाते हैं तो वो भी तो स्टोरीज ही हैं।
करेक्ट।
राइट, कहीं ना कुछ रियल लाइफ से
ब्यूटीफुल।
इंस्पायर्ड है।
एवरीथिंग इज स्टोरी
और
इफ यू सी।
या आपकी लाइफ भी एक स्टोरी है। अगर आप अपनी लाइफ को चाइल्डहुड से बोलना शुरू करो, सुनाना शुरू करो, बहुत अच्छी स्टोरी बन सकती है। बहुत अच्छी बुक बन सकती है। जो लोग अपनी लाइफ को लेकर कुछ लिखते हैं, कुछ लोगों को इंस्पायर करते हैं। सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट स्टोरीज। सो I'm really
Basically, it's all
enjoying.
about.
Yeah, and
Correct.
wonderfully you narrated these stories.
Thank
So
you so much.
yes, I have got some questions.
Sure. And I
So
just want to add, जो आपने बोला कि हमें कई बार लगता है ना कि हमारी जर्नी में क्या ही होगा, हमारी जर्नी से कौन इंस्पायर होगा, बट लेट मी टेल यू, देर आर 7 बिलियन प्लस पीपल इन द वर्ल्ड। तो कोई ना कोई तो जरूर आपकी जर्नी से इंस्पायर होगा। एंड समटाइम क्या होता है, वी सेट अ वेरी हाई बेंचमार्क फॉर अस, कि अगर मिलियन कॉपीज नहीं बिकी तो कोई मतलब नहीं है, अगर 10,000 कॉपी नहीं तो इसके नीचे क्या है बात करना है। यू डोंट नीड द 10,000 कॉपीज। आई व्हेन आई रोट द बुक फाइनली, so that is the second story, I uska complete part is that when I wrote the book, I set the intention ki if my book can help one person who is in a small town like what I am 20 years back, I was 20 years back. If this book can help one person improve 1%, the book has done its purpose. Everything else is a bonus.
yeah, yes,
Yes,
you are right. So obviously, सी आप 100% लोगों को तो आप इंस्पायर नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि
correct.
कहीं ना कुछ लोग हमेशा ऐसे मिलेंगे जो आपसे एग्री नहीं करेंगे। बट उन्हीं के बीच में कुछ लोग ऐसे होंगे जो आपसे रेजोनेट करते हैं, आपकी एनर्जी से मैच करते हैं, मेल खाते हैं, एंड दी दोज आर लाइक माइंडेड पीपल।
Absolutely.
राइट। तो अक्सर हम लोग देखते हैं कि जहाँ पे भी लाइक माइंड लोग मिलते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं हम उनके साथ अपने आप को अटैच फील करते हैं। राइट।
करेक्ट।
और हम
करेक्ट।
उनको और
एक
सुनना चाहते हैं। या
कल मैं मूवी देख रहा था, ट्वेल्थ फेल, जो अभी लेटेस्ट मूवी आई है, and उसमें एक ब्यूटीफुल डायलॉग था। इट सेड दैट नो, अगर मैं सूरज बन के पूरी दुनिया को जगमगा नहीं सकता हूँ, मैं फिर भी स्ट्रीट लाइट बन के अपनी गली को तो रोशन कर सकता हूँ।
एग्जैक्टली। वाह, बहुत अच्छा। या आप एक दीपक बन के भी यार कई लोगों को रास्ता
आप
दिखा
अपने
सकते
दीपक बन के अपने कमरे को रोशन कर सकते हैं।
हैं। या
करेक्ट। So you don't have to become Tony Robbins. Not everybody needs to become Tony Robbins. Not everybody needs to be Dean Greggy or Mel Robbins. You are your best version. You can. The best journey is when you become the best version of yourself, and don't be a copy of anyone else.
या अपना फ्लेवर तो देखो, आपका कोई कोई भी आपका फ्लेवर बन ही नहीं सकता। आपका फ्लेवर इतना यूनिक है कि आपसे
Correct.
बेटर कोई नहीं है। सो
Yes.
इसी के साथ मैं शुरू करता हूँ कुछ क्वेश्चन जो मेरे पास आए हैं, कि आपकी ओपिनियन में एक स्टोरी को ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव क्या चीज है जो बनाती है? ऐसा क्या
Hmm.
है?
एक स्टोरी को ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव, और आई वुड से प्रॉब्ली कंपेलिंग। ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव तो बहुत बात की बात है। पहले तो मोस्ट ऑफ अस आर बोरिंग स्टोरी टेलर, विच मीन्स दैट कि हम जब स्टोरीज सुनाते हैं, लोग कन्नी काट देते हैं या इधर उधर निकल लेते हैं। हाउ डू यू मेक देम स्टे? राइट, द पहला जॉब तो यही है कि हाउ डू यू मेक देम स्टे इज बाय यूजिंग सम एलिमेंट्स। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हैविंग हुक, राइट हुक। इफ आई जस्ट टेल यू, ओके, यू नो व्हाट, 1985 में क्या हुआ, फिर 1990 में क्या हुआ, फिर 1995 में क्या हुआ, एंड देन आई कम टू द एक्चुअल स्टोरी जो कि स्टार्ट ही होती है 2002 में, बाय दैट टाइम यू लॉस्ट। If you're not physically lost, you're mentally lost by then. But if I tell you, would you believe what happened in 2002 when I was at that road? Now you're curious कि क्या हुआ, exactly क्या हुआ. So if you want to make your stories interesting, the very first thing that you need to learn is how do you hook your audience, how do you make sure कि उनका attention आप grab कर रहे हो, क्योंकि we have so much distraction, we have phones, we have internet, television, and so many things are happening. If you are not having the right hook, whether you are orally telling stories, whether you're writing on social media, whether you're creating videos, whether you're writing a journal, whether you're writing a book also. So in my book, I open the scene. You probably would have read the first chapter also. I start with the scene where I am at the roof of my house and I see those aeroplanes flying near
Yeah.
Varanasi airport. Right. I mean, that time I didn't know that much, but I realized that was such a powerful hook for people to actually finish those chapters. So, how do you keep your audience engaged, or first of all, attract and then engage is by using hooks, right hooks. The second is, are your stories having the right takeaway message? If I just tell the story, जैसे आज की 3 story बताई, but I don't tell you कि what does it mean for you, what do you learn out of it, what can you do about it, then अच्छा है story, goody goody story. But if you want to have, like you said, the word transformative stories, the audience needs to have the answer to the question WIIFM, which is what's in it for me. प्रशांत जी की स्टोरी बहुत अच्छी है, बट मुझे क्या सीखने को मिलेगा? हरितोष की स्टोरी अच्छा था, सुनने में मजा आया, लेकिन व्हाट अबाउट मी? व्हाट डू आई लर्न? व्हाट कैन आई डू? व्हाट कैन आई इम्प्लीमेंट? तो अगर एक स्टोरी को ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव बनना है, तो ये दो एलिमेंट तो चाहिए चाहिए, एंड देन देयर आर अदर एलिमेंट्स लाइक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, resolutions, emotion, character. But these two are the most, one will attract your audience and other will leave them with certain things that they can carry with them.
Yeah.
So hook and takeaway message.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Another question is, क्या आपने कभी कुछ ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि अ, आपका कोई कोची जो है अ, उसकी लाइफ चेंजिंग स्टोरी आपने कभी एक्सपीरियंस की है? और लाइक जब
Oh,
आपने कभी सुना तो
yes.
लाइक जस्ट शेयर दैट।
Yes, yes, I will tell you. There's so many stories. I think I feel sometime blessed to start building the community. जो मेरा mission है, and I have almost 80 members now in the community, and there are many good storytellers, and उनकी stories बहुत amazing है. So I'll tell you, since you asked, I'll tell you a story about a lady. Her name is Rajesh. I don't want to put the full name for the privacy purpose, but she literally told me the story that in one day she was having a proper house and everything. In one day she was literally on road because of certain bad decision taken by the father-in-law. She went to the office and got the call from her husband that no, everything is now taken, we are on road. And going from there to rebuilding her life, to reaching a state where she is not only thriving in her career but also helping others, is a great story. And she had that content, but we worked together to sharpen the story so that it has a takeaway message. And the takeaway message was that if you use resilience, if you're focused towards what you're getting. And she talks about her father who gave her some great suggestions, and she shares that as part of the story. That's where the story became a transformative story, and I was so happy to see her, and to see her story getting transformed, and in the way she getting the recognition that she deserved. So that's one story, and there are others, but I'll to keep the time in mind. I'll stick to this one only.
Wonderful. So there is a question from Healer, sir. How can we use storytelling for personal growth?
Great question. My question, I mean, yeah, I shouldn't be counter questioning, but this is also the answer is why do you want to grow and how you want to grow? Because once you are clear with why, you can get the story or share the story and give you examples. For example, if you want to become a coach, you should get those stories of your coachee. And I love the question that Prashant asked me, because if I'm a coach and I'm only talking about myself, I'm probably not a good coach,
Yeah.
right? If you want to grow in your professional journey, you need to tell about the value that you add to the organization. For example, you work in an IT or any other job and you're looking for growth in terms of switching the job, you should tell the stories of what kind of value addition you bring to the table, what kind of projects that you have done, what kind of achievements that you have, what kind of struggles that you have faced and you overcame, and what was the learning out of it, because those are the stories that will help you get good impression and get the job. If you are a parent, and now Ritika is watching, so she's great human being, and to be connected with both of us.
Yeah.
If you are a parenting coach, the stories that you should be telling is the stories of kids and how their life is changing, how parents' life is changing. So how you use storytelling is also depend on what is your why. Even in personal growth, there are so many dimensions, so there is no one size fit all. Depends on what is your context. If you want to become a coach, then share the stories of transformation of your students, your participant. If you are a professional, then share the stories of your professional achievements and struggles and learning. If you are a, say, parent or parenting coach, then share the stories with the kid in their interest and in their learning, and that is how it helps. So I hope that answers the question.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's good. So I'm sure, Healer, that answers your question. How can you use storytelling? Okay. Now, there is a question. क्या आपकी लाइफ में कोई ऐसी स्टोरी रही है जिसने आपको एक्चुअली में आपको लगा कि दिस इज अ टाइम टू ओवरकम और
Hmm.
क्विट, नॉट ओवरकम बट क्विट, और एम आई ऑन
Okay.
द राइट पाथ?
Hmm. Yes, there I'm not going to lie and say no, no, ऐसी कोई story नहीं है. There have been so many times. Uh, for those of you who know me, know that I have a full-time job, and Monday to Friday वहाँ जाता है. I still sneak out sometime out of that, and then Saturday, Sunday, a lot of this goes in my coaching and setup and all of those. So yes, there have been times where I felt like, is it really worth doing all of this? Is it really required to invest so much of money, so much of time, so much of effort? But then it also reminds me of the stories of people like Rajesh, people like Sanjay, and that makes me worth. And thank you so much, Ritika. I still remember the conversation that we had, and really grateful for you to acknowledge that. So people like Ritika, when they reach out and they tell this, no, my life got impacted, my life got changed because of you in a small or big way, then it makes all worth it. So yes, there have been times where I felt like, is it worth it? Or there have been times where I had big goals, uh, and I couldn't achieve. Yes, I am human. I feel frustrated, right? But either you get frustrated or you get over it and start working towards the next goal. That's what I've learned.
या और कई बार
Beautiful
कई बार
question, by
ऐसा
the
भी
way.
होता है,
Beautiful question. Thank you.
कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि फ्रस्ट्रेशन आती है और अक्सर जो मतलब जो मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ या जो मुझे बताया है मेरे मेंटर्स ने, कि जब आपको बहुत ज़्यादा फ्रस्ट्रेशन लगे और जब आपको लगे कि आई थिंक आई शुड क्विट, दैट इज द टाइम फॉर योर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन।
Oh yes.
अगर आप उस टाइम पर आप स्टिक कर जाते हो तो फिर आप उसको क्रॉस कर जाओगे। लेकिन अगर आपने वहां पर क्विट कर दिया, देन
Hmm.
इट विल बी रियली डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू इन फ्यूचर टू कम बैक टू द सेम ट्रैक
Correct, correct.
जो आप छोड़ के जा रहे
Absolutely. So beautiful. And I am pretty sure कि आपने भी वो कुकून और बटरफ्लाई वाली एनालॉजी सुनी होगी, राइट?
हो।
जहाँ पे there was this person who was seeing that cocoon struggle कर रहा है and बाहर नहीं आ पा रहा है, and he just picked it up from that, and the cocoon couldn't fly. It couldn't become a butterfly, and he was like, what happened, why he's not able to do that? And then he reaches the teacher, and the teacher says that cocoon had to undergo that struggle,
Yeah,
that pain, that problem, so that it could learn to spread its wings. So yes, there is grind. That is why it is called the grind phase, where you struggle, you have so many expectation which doesn't meet, but if you, as you rightly said, that if you just push through just one more day, as they say कि कितने सारे लोगों को पता नहीं होता है कि वो बस किनारे के पार हैं और वो वहीं पे उम्मीद छोड़ देते हैं, तो उम्मीद नहीं छोड़ना है, दैट इज द एसेंस ऑफ लाइफ. You never
yeah,
know which moment can become a true transformation moment.
एग्जैक्टली। सो नेवर गिव अप। ये तो
Never
बहुत
ever
जरूरी है।
ever give up. Absolutely. Thank you, Ritika. And
सबकी
if you
लाइफ
feel
में।
like giving up, then you can learn from the second story, the power of reaching out.
या,
Both of us know a guy. I don't want to take the name. He's no more, but he was struggling. He was having his own startup. I was struggling, but nobody could tell that he's having so much of mental pressure and problem. And I felt really bad when I got to know that he committed suicide. He could have actually chatted with some of us. Few
या,
people would have helped him. So if you
राइट,
ever feel, I know this was not the purpose of this session, but still, I tell you, if you ever feel that you're going into that zone, take professional help. There is no shame in taking professional help. It
या,
could be someone you know, or it could be a real consultant, or real healer, or a coach, or mentor, or even therapy if it has got to that level. But
या।
don't just be in that dark phase. It doesn't help anyone. Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
दैट्स ओके, इट्स completely okay, it is a part of the session।
Yes,
और अगर आपको लगता है कि कहीं से भी हेल्प नहीं मिल रही है तो एटलीस्ट उस पर्सन से बात करो जिसमें आप बिलीव करते हो, जिसको आप मानते
exactly, exactly.
हो, राइट? ओके, या, अनदर क्वेश्चन, कि
Yes.
डिफरेंट तरह के ऑडियंस कई बार होते हैं, तो
Hmm.
हम डिफरेंट तरीके से कैसे स्टोरी टेलिंग कर सकते हैं? ऐसी कोई टेक्निक्स हैं ताकि हम सबके साथ कनेक्ट करें?
Correct. See, uh, सबसे पहले सब वेरी फर्स्ट स्टेप इज यू शुड नो योर ऑडियंस. अगर आपको पता ही नहीं कि आपके ऑडियंस में है कौन, देन यू आर लाइक, तो कहते हैं ना, अंधेरे में तीर मार रहे हैं आप. आपको पता ही नहीं. जैसे आई नो, मैंने बात भी किया था प्रशांत जी से कि इस इनके मेन ऑडियंस क्या है. दे आर मोस्टली हीलर्स एंड कोचेज एंड पीपल हु आर गोइंग थ्रू हिज जर्नी, राइट? सो आई न्यू दैट, एंड आई एम टेकिंग एग्जाम्पल अकॉर्डिंगली. अगर मैं रैंडम प्रोफेशनल वर्ड का एग्जाम्पल हूँ, इट मे नॉट मेक सेंस, मे और मे नॉट मेक सेंस, राइट? So first thing is you should know your audience. And when I say know your audience, there are certain things that you need to know. Number one is, what is the demographic, from which part of the world they are. Are they from India? Are they from US, UK, whichever, Africa? The second thing is, what are their dreams? What are their hopes? What are their desires? What are their fears? What is it that they want help on, and how your story can help. One story cannot help everyone in the world for everything. You have to have that right stories. And the most important thing, I think, and this is not really talked about, but I am going to tell that know what you can't talk. Is a very prestigious speaking organization. I'm not going to take the name, but what happened in 2021, there was this chairperson of that organization went to Africa, and she didn't do the hard work. She's a very good person, very noble person, but she didn't do the hard work, and she told a story about slaves. That's a sensitive topic when you talk in Africa, and it became such a sensation, such an escalation, that she literally had to resign the job, resign the position that she was holding. And it is a very, very prestigious speaking organization which has branches all across the world. Now, why did that happen? Was she not a good speaker? She's one of the best in the world. That is why she reached to that stage. But what really happened was she didn't think about the audience. She didn't think about the story and the implication of the story. So whenever you're speaking, and this is not to discourage anyone from speaking, that is the last thing I want to do, but it is to do your homework and find out what stories you shouldn't tell. You shouldn't tell all the story all places, because yeah, not everything fits everywhere. So you should know the context. Whatever works here may not work there. Whatever audience members are there may not be there. So anything can be taken in other way around. So make sure that your stories are towards that.
Yeah, wonderful. So there is a question from Healer again. Can storytelling strengthen relationships?
What do you think the answer would be, healer bhaiya? I'll give you an example, and this will help you with this, because a storytelling का session है तो stories बताऊंगा. So last month I was in a event, and there was this lady from Romania. I've never been to Romania. She's never been to India. We had never met each other, and it was raining outside. यूके में काफी पानी बरसता रहता है, अक्सर ही बरसता रहता है. It was raining outside, and we were watching from inside the conference room. And I just told her कि, you know, this so much rain happens in UK, and it reminds me the very first time I came, and I told a story. And then what happened? She heard the story, and then she said, "Do you know, this reminds me of the time when I came first time to the UK. I got drenched, and it was a complete mess." Then I told another story, and then she told another story. And in the next 15 minutes, we told so many stories. And what happened is, by the end of it, we felt like we have known each other for probably decades. So, this is a classic example of how even the strangers can feel that, yes, I'm connected somehow. Another example is, and many times it happens, that when you hear somebody tell a story, you also feel like मेरे साथ भी ऐसा कुछ कुछ हुआ है, and you start connecting with that person.
Yeah.
So the answer to your question is, it definitely 100% helps you strengthen, provided you're telling the right story. If you tell the wrong story, it can actually break the relationship as well. So just a word of caution also.
Exactly. Obviously, and rightly said by Haritosh here. स्टोरी टेलिंग देखो, जहाँ पर भी आप स्टोरीज के साथ कनेक्ट होते हो तो कहीं ना कहीं लोग आपके साथ कनेक्ट होते हैं. इवन अगर वो आपके साथ कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं तो दैट मीन्स एक इनविजिबल रिलेशनशिप तो आपकी बनी रही है. हो सकता है वो आपको सुने, आपको सुनता हो,
Correct.
आपको देखता हो, आपके बारे में और जानना चाहे. सो
Hmm.
ऑब्वियसली, और वैसे भी अगर आप देखो तो दो लोगों के जो रिलेशंस जो बनते हैं वो भी कहीं ना कहीं स्टोरीज के साथ ही कनेक्ट
Stories
होते
से
हैं.
बनते हैं.
राइट.
Absolutely.
सो स्टोरीज तो हर जगह हैं. आप कहीं पर भी चले जाओ, आप चाहे इंडिया में हो, चाहे यूएस में हो, चाहे कनाडा में हो, आपके साथ स्टोरीज हमेशा रहती हैं. जैसे कहते हैं कि आप कहीं पर भी चले जाओ, सूरज और चाँद तो आपको मिलेंगे ही, तो स्टोरीज़ भी आपको मिलेंगी
स्टोरीज
अपनी।
तो आपको मिलेंगी, हाँ। जैसे आई से दैट कि आमिर खान ने कहा था 3 इडियट में कि हम मशीनों से घिरे हुए हैं, आई से दैट कि हम स्टोरीज से घिरे हुए हैं।
बिल्कुल, अमेज़िंग। So there is another question. Um, do you think that power of visualization
Hmm.
plays an important role in storytelling?
Again, what do you think the answer would be? And the answer is absolutely yes. When people join the confidence storytelling hub, uh, the very first step that I say that if you want to improve in stages of storytelling, so basically there are 4 stages in storytelling. So the first one is where you actually are a nervous forgetting storyteller. You know अरे स्टोरी टेलिंग करना है बट यू फॉरगेट कि अरे स्टोरीज नहीं याद आ रही है और ये स्टोरी बोलना ही भूल गए. सो दैट इज द स्टेज वन. द स्टेज टू इज व्हेन यू आर अ मेसी बोरिंग स्टोरी टेलर. तो स्टोरी बोलना तो याद है बट आपकी स्टोरी कोई सुनना नहीं चाहता है. दे गेट बोर एंड दे मेक ऑल द एक्सक्यूजेस टू गेट आउट. एंड देन द थर्ड स्टेज इज व्हेन यू आर अ कॉन्शियस स्टोरी टेलर. तो आपने you have learned the concept, you have practiced, you know your stories, so you have a few stories people love to listen from you. And then you become a confident spontaneous storyteller जहाँ पे you don't have to think. For every question that you're asking, the stories are coming out. So this is where the fourth stage. So how do you go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3? Is certain steps required, and the very first step of that is the upgrading the mindset, because
Yeah,
skill set without mindset leads to upset. And how do you upgrade your mindset? One of the techniques that I talk about is visualization, where you close your eyes and just think about your audience that you want to speak to. And you go through the whole process of 2 3 minutes to basically visualize yourself and see the kind of audience that you want to engage, impact, and influence.
yeah.
And that's how it works. Hope
Wonderful,
that answers the
wonderful.
question.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. It does. So, two, three more questions.
Yes.
One is any advice for the aspiring storytellers?
Hmm. So I'm gonna say the same steps that I tell in my program as well. Number one, upgrade your mindset. Think about that how can you improve on yourself, which means that no, use the terms like affirmations, use the visualizations, use it's time to acknowledge yourself, because we all have a journey, we all have so many things that we have achieved, but we are always looking forward, we don't look backward, we don't look at our things that we have achieved. So that helps you upgrade your mindset. The second step is when you start collecting stories. Just like you have a bank and you start investing and getting money, you need to have stories, right?
Yeah.
So you start collecting stories. I highly recommend, I do it myself, and I have something called story bank. I hope, yeah, now you can see that, right? So I keep collecting stories myself, my own personal story and stories from across the world. So the second step is when you start collecting stories. The third step is when you start crafting stories. So the elements like hook, the takeaway, the characters, the emotions, you start applying those to create stories. The fourth step is when you start delivery. सिर्फ बना करके you can be a story writer, but you have to also deliver. So how do you go from story writer to storyteller? Is by telling the stories, by practicing, by speaking. So go to different organization, become part of the communities, speak in front of the friends and families, record yourself and use that to give yourself feedback, but start delivering. And the fifth step is when you start getting feedback. And there are two types of feedback that you generally get. One is audience feedback, उनको कैसा लगा, क्या था क्या नहीं था. And there is also qualified feedback, जो only qualified people, only coaches, only mentors who know the stuff can tell you the answer. So those are the 5 steps, and when you do that, that's where you improve from being a forgetting nervous storyteller to becoming a confident spontaneous storyteller.
Yeah. वंडरफुल, अमेजिंग। और मैं एक चीज़ और अगर अगर इनको थोड़ा सा कुछ ऐड करूँ तो, कि अगर आप अपनी जर्नी शुरू ही करना चाहते हैं तो बस शुरू कर दो।
हाँ,
बच्चों को जब स्टोरी सुनाते हैं तो उसमें आई आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर कि बच्चे जब बोलते हैं कोई स्टोरी सुनाओ और आपके पास स्टोरी नहीं होती, तो आप इंस्टेंटली कोई ना कोई स्टोरी आप बना लेते हो।
बिल्डअप कर लो, करेक्ट।
सो बहुत
करेक्ट,
अच्छी
जस्ट
शुरुआत
लाइक
है ये।
गिटार सीखना है तो गिटार बजाना सीखना है तो गिटार उठा के करना पड़ेगा। स्टोरी टेलिंग इज
या
द सेम, यू हैव टू टेल द स्टोरीज। वो सिर्फ वीडियो देखने से, कोर्सेज करने से, प्रोग्राम करने से नहीं होगा। यू हैव टू टेल द स्टोरी, दैट इज द बेस ऑफ दिस।
जैसे थ्योरी पढ़ने से कभी ड्राइविंग नहीं आती।
करेक्ट, यूट्यूब वीडियो से
राइट।
कभी कभी सिंगर नहीं बनता कोई।
या या आप स्विमिंग नहीं सीख सकते, आपने
या स्विमिंग नहीं
दो
सीख
चार वीडियो
सकते हैं
देखे और आप पानी में कूद गए।
आप।
वंडरफुल। सो देयर इज अनदर क्वेश्चन इज, या इट्स गुड कि कई बार कुछ लोगों को अपनी पर्सनल स्टोरी जब वो नरेट करते हैं या बताते हैं, तो उनके अंदर एक फियर होता है कि पता नहीं लोग कैसे रिएक्ट करेंगे। हाउ टू ओवरकम दैट फियर?
करेक्ट, सो इट्स अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल क्वेश्चन। तो पहली चीज ये है कि you don't have to share your personal stories in front of everyone unless you are comfortable. Of course, I told a few stories, but I'm not telling all the stories that happened to me because I'm not comfortable sharing all the stories. So do not start with sharing those stories that you are not comfortable with. पहली चीज जो आपको ध्यान देनी है कि आर यू कंफर्टेबल शेयरिंग द स्टोरीज। इफ यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल, your audience will never be comfortable.
या
The second step is your stories are your stories, but for your audience. So यू नीड टू थिंक कि अगर मैं ये थोड़ी वल्नरेबल स्टोरी, थोड़ी सी अनकंफर्टेबल स्टोरी बताने जा रहा हूँ या जा रही हूँ, सॉरी माई लाइट इज फ्लिकरिंग, विल दैट हेल्प माई ऑडियंस और नॉट? If that will help, then I will tell. If that will not, then I should probably not tell the story. So intent of the story is also very important. The first is, are you comfortable telling those personal story? If not, then tell small things. A lot of time people just start doing this Facebook live, YouTube live, just tell about what happened in the day, what was the highlight, not highlight. That's perfectly fine. But then once you become comfortable, then you can share bigger stories as well, better stories as well. So start from there. Just give me 1 second. I'll just look into this light thing. Something is happening. Give me a
या
second. I'm here. Was just trying to set up the light. Yeah. You can keep speaking. Yeah. All right. I'm here. Let me switch on the video.
या
You might see some sunlight, but it's okay.
ओके, व्हाट्स द टाइम देयर राइट नाउ बाय द वे?
The time is 3:15. So
3:15।
दोपहर का 3:15 बज रहे हैं.
वाओ। यू आर इन व्हिच पार्ट ऑफ यूके?
I am southwest of London, so Basingstoke. Yeah.
ओके, वाओ। So the next question we have from Healer again. Do share a story that become a turning point in your life. Wow, in your
I
own life.
already I already shared 3 stories, so I'll say watch the recording again. Enough stories for today. And
Wonderful.
more importantly, more than that, I want to hear your stories. It's good to hear my stories, and that's great. But think about what is your story of transformation or change, and start
Healer
practicing
ji,
that.
Healer ji, we appreciate your transformation. We appreciate your questions. But
We
yes,
really appreciate. Yes, absolutely.
कहीं ना कहीं सबकी लाइफ में देखो टर्निंग पॉइंट होता है। एंड वही, अगर आज के टाइम में कोई सक्सेसफुल है तो कहीं ना कोई टर्निंग टर्निंग पॉइंट रहा होगा। सो
Absolutely.
जैसे हरितोष ने शेयर किए 3, दे आर सो मैनी, राइट? सबकी लाइफ में होते हैं. ओके, सो द लास्ट क्वेश्चन,
Yes.
not the last, but the second last.
Mm-hmm.
सो आज के सेशन से लोगों को अपने साथ क्या लेके जाना चाहिए?
आज के सेशन से अपने साथ लोगों को क्या लेना चाहिए? ब्यूटीफुल क्वेश्चन. एंड द क्वेश्चन इज, the answer probably to that question would be that, are your stories defining you, or are you creating your story? It's a deep question which will require some thinking, but one is that we all are, the stories are happening day in day out,
Yeah.
but question is, who is the creator of the story? Is it nature and automatically happening, or are you creating your own story? And if
Yeah.
you're creating your story, that would be worth sharing with others.
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत अच्छा आंसर है. और
Thank you.
अपनी स्टोरी क्रिएट करना चाहते हो तो अपने आप को आप ये देखो कि आप एक स्टार पे बैठे हो और आप नीचे अगर अपने आप को देख रहे हो, तो आपकी क्या स्टोरी होनी चाहिए? क्या देखना चाहोगे आप अपने लिए? Yeah, rightly said by Ritika. Create
Right.
your own life with your journey. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Ritika, you are a star. I know that.
Okay, so last question of the session is any tip, final tip for the people who are watching us now and who will
Mm.
be watching us later?
The final tip would be what something you said earlier as well. Start telling stories. Agar if you're not comfortable sharing personal story, that's fine. Take stories from others. There are so many stories in the world, but start sharing stories, because stories have the power to transform. You know, every time I tell the stories, I am changing a bit. I am learning. I am getting better. So don't tell it only for your audience, tell it for yourself, because you will heal. No story, we are in this session of healer bhaiya is here, and lot of things. Sometimes telling stories can actually heal you.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So, friends, now as we are reaching to the end of the session, now we wrap up this journey of three stories that changed my life with the incredible storytelling coach Haritosh Srivastav. My heart
Thank
is
you so much.
actually filled with gratitude. So,
Thank you
thank you
for the
so
opportunity.
much.
Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to, yeah, connect with me, or become part of Confident Storytelling Hub, you can reach out to me through all my social media, or the easiest path would be to drop out an email to contact@haritos.com. I'll also put a link here if you want to directly join the membership, and we would love to have you as part of the community.
Yeah, wonderful. So, friends, thank you so much for being a
Thank
part of this wonderful experience, sharing your thoughts. Some of you actually have been so interactive and connecting through the magic of storytelling. And once again, a heartfelt thank you to Haritosh for generously sharing his wisdom, stories, and inspiring all of us to explore the transformative powers of stories.
Thank
And
you so much for having me. It is my honor and pleasure.
if you would like to connect with Haritosh, I'll mention his details in the description box once the session will be over, so you can connect with him. Also, now there is a now here comes a part of the surprise.
Yes.
आपके लिए कुछ सरप्राइज है जो आज आपको इस सेशन में मिलने वाला है. सो हरितोष विल बी द राइट पर्सन टू शेयर दैट सरप्राइज कि वो क्या है एंड
Sure.
आप कैसे उसका फायदा उठा सकते हो. सो
Thank you
हरितोष,
so much. Thank you for the opportunity. So, as I said earlier, I am building this community of storytellers, who will be the pillars in my mission to help people become confident storytellers. And for that to happen, I'm always reaching out and getting people. So, if you think, and this is not for everyone, if you think that you want to sharpen your skill of storytelling, you want to impact people, you want to influence people, then I I will be sharing a link with Prashant ji to join the silver membership of Confident Storytelling Hub. And why this is so special? Because typically the silver membership is of 10,000 rupees. It's a lifetime membership, but only for the Mindset Miracle Coach. For Prashant ji, I have a special offer that I have given him a link where you can use that link to get a 50% discount. So you're going to get all of this, which includes we have a number of courses of storytelling. We also do weekly mastermind sessions, so weekly live sessions. You can come and join us on Zoom. We also have challenges, so you can participate in a lot of storytelling challenges that happens. You also have certification, so every time you complete a course or challenge or a lot of community challenges that we do, you get a certificate. And most importantly, you also have a community support. So we have almost 80 community members from different parts of the world, from different professions, from different cities, and we all are part of this hub where we help each other, support each other, grow each other, and provide feedback. So you get part of all of this for 4999. So the link will be in somewhere in the description and in the comment section. uh, yeah, come and be a part of it. And if you feel like this is something that is not for me or it's not valuable, reach out to me. We have a 7 days no question asked refund policy. So not like those online, you know what I'm talking about. That yeah, if you send an email to contact@haritos.com that this is not something that you expected, we won't just reply. We'll first refund and then reply.
Wow, amazing. So, friends, whatever we are talking here is actually you can experience that. और अगर आप अपनी लाइफ में वाकई में कुछ करना चाहते हो, अगर आप वाकई में कुछ चैलेंजेस को हैंडल करना चाहते हो, आप सीखना चाहते हो, देन गो फॉर इट। लर्निंग कभी एंड नहीं होती है हमारी, सो इट विल
Absolutely.
बी समवेयर कुछ ना कुछ आप सीखोगे। अगर आपको
Right.
नहीं
And this is
लगता है
the
कि आप
start of
कहीं
the
से
year.
ग्रोथ, या
So I want to say that every year I make my own learning goal. Last year I attended, and you already probably know that I attended Tony Robbins ka live event 4 days ka. I attended certified world class speaking coach and so many other things. So the point is, ये नया साल हर साल आएगा. But how do you make 2024 different from previous years is by taking action, by learning, by implementing, by growing. So if you have not taken New Year resolution, I would highly recommend that you take a learning challenge, not resolution. क्योंकि resolution खत्म हो जाते हैं. Take a learning challenge to grow yourself, because that is what will go with you. बाकी सारा तो चलता रहेगा.
और जब तक आपको कोई पुश ना मिले ना, तो
That is also
अक्सर
very
इंसान खुद ही अपने आप को कितना मोटिवेट कर पाता है। बट इफ यू
correct. You
हैव अ
need
पुश,
accountability. You need definitely you need push. You need accountability, and that is why we I love the power of the community that we are building.
या सो यू विल मीट द लाइक माइंड्स पीपल हियर, you will definitely get something, and if you don't get, you are not losing anything,
Yes.
right? So once again, thank you so much for being a part of this session,
Thank you.
and thank you for joining us tonight. Uh, till the time we meet once again, and
Absolutely.
may these stories be filled with joy, resilience, and profound connections. You create your own story. You narrate your story to your children कि मैंने लाइफ में क्या किया, ये मेरी स्टोरी रही। बिकॉज आपकी स्टोरी भी कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी को इंस्पायर करेगी, राइट?
Absolutely, absolutely.
सो
Be the
टेक
role
केयर।
model. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much once again, Haritosh, for being a part of this show and accepting the proposal and coming here, giving your precious time.
My pleasure. Thank
And to
you.
the wonderful audience, once again, my heartfelt thank you to all of you. So, see you next week with a new speaker and a new topic. Till then, stay healthy, take care, bye bye,
And
and
subscribe to this channel if you have not yet subscribed. This is the most amazing channel. So do subscribe to this channel.
namaste to all of you.
Namaste.